Assalamu alaikum students, and welcome to the biology class for grade 8. We are going to start our chapter number 1, that is Introduction to Biology. This is your teacher Miss Aisha Khan from SLS Montessori and High School. Well, we are going to start our lecture number 1, and the learning outcomes of this lecture are to learn about the biology, about divisions and branches of biology, the connection of biology to other sciences, different professions that can be opted after studying biology at your higher secondary level, then Quranic concept of life and the contributions of Muslim scientists in biology. Well, the first topic that we are going to start today is Introduction to Biology. But before starting with the biology, you must know about what is science. Well, science is the study in which observations are made, experiments are done, and logical conclusions are drawn so as to understand the principles of nature. Dear students, in ancient times, the scientific information was not divided into different branches, and all the information was included under one heading, that was science. But with the passage of time, as the scientific information increased by many folds, and the scientific knowledge was, due to advancements in the scientific knowledge, it was then classified, the science was actually classified into different branches like physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, etc. So now we are going to start with the biology, one of the branch of the science. Then what is biology? Biology is actually derived from two Greek words, bios meaning life and logos meaning study. So biology is the scientific study of life. Now on page number 3 and 2 and 3, the divisions and branches of biology are given. So let's start with the divisions of biology. Now, as you know that biology is the scientific study of life, so there are three major divisions of biology in which it is divided. First one is the zoology. Zoology deals with the study of animals. For example, there are a variety of animals living on this, inhabiting this earth, like lion, rabbit, giraffe, camel, elephant, etc. You can see in the picture. So this zoology deals with the study of animals, their habits, their types, their evolution, and also that how they interact with their environment. The next division is the botany. Botany deals with the study of all kinds of plants, like all the flowering and non-flowering plants. Their characteristics, their structure, and their organ systems, etc. is all studied in botany. Then the third division is the microbiology. Microbiology deals with the study of microorganisms. Now, what are microorganisms? Microorganisms are those organisms which are so small that we cannot see them with our naked eye. We can only study them with the help of an instrument known as microscope. You must be familiar with the microscope, and you must have seen it in the labs, okay, in your science labs. So in microbiology, we study about the microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, and unicellular organisms, which are also not included in microorganisms. Now the next topic that we are going to start is on page number 3, open it in front of you. We are going to learn about the different branches of biology. These major divisions, the three major divisions of biology, are further divided into some branches in order to study all the aspects of life. So these branches are as follows. Number 1 is morphology. Morphology deals with the study of form and structure of the living organisms. Like for example, we can see here in the picture a plant, and I can easily observe or study its external features like the color of the leaves and the branches, then stem, then its roots. All right, so these are the external features that we can easily study with the help of the morphology. Next branch is the anatomy. Anatomy deals with the study of the internal structures of the living organisms. Like for example, so Anatomy. Anatomy means to cut or dissect. So we can only study the internal structures or features of the living organisms after dissecting or cutting them. Like for example, in this picture, we can study the frog's anatomy after dissecting it. We can see its internal organs like heart, lungs, kidneys, etc. And their study can be done with the knowledge of anatomy. Then histology. Histology is that branch of biology in which the microscopic study of tissues is done. Now, do you know there are different types of plants and animal tissues, and they can only be studied under the microscope. Why? Because tissues are made up of cells, and cell is microscopic in size. So that is why the tissues can only be studied with the help of a microscope. There are different types of animals and plant tissues. As in the picture you can see the 4 types of tissues like connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle and nervous tissue, which are the animal tissues. And similarly the plant tissues are also there, which makes the body of the plants. The next branch is the cell biology. In cell biology, it actually deals with the study of the structures and functions of cells and their organelles. Like for example, in the picture, an animal cell is shown to you, and you can see the internal structures, the organelles, the subcellular structures like nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, etc. So their structure and function is studied in cell biology. And along with it, we also study about the cell division, including mitosis and meiosis in the cell biology. The next branch is the physiology. Physiology deals with the study of the functions of different parts of the organisms. Like for example, the function of the heart, function of kidneys, lungs, etc. can be studied with the help of physiology. Next, number 6 is genetics. Genetics deals with the study of the genes and their role in inheritance. Now, what is inheritance? Inheritance is actually the transfer of the characteristics from one generation, means from parents to their offsprings. Now, what are genes? Genes are actually the part of the hereditary material, that is the DNA, or the chromosomes, and these genes are located on the chromosomes, which are actually responsible for the transfer of the characteristics from parents to offspring. So this is studied in genetics. Next, number 7 is embryology. Embryology deals with the study of the development of an embryo to a new individual. Now, what is an embryo? Embryo is actually a structure which is formed when the male and female sex cells, they unite and form a zygote. That zygote then divides divides by cleavage, and after many divisions it develops into an embryo. The embryo, after passing through different developmental stages, grows into or develops into a complete individual. So these developmental stages from embryo to a complete individual is studied in embryology. Next branch is the taxonomy. Taxonomy deals with the naming and classification of the organisms into different groups and subgroups. Like for example, in the picture you can see a taxonomic hierarchy in which different taxa or groups are given from kingdom till the species. So in these all groups, the organisms are classified according to their characteristics or the features. So this is all studied in taxonomy. Along with the classification, the scientific names are given to the organisms. Next branch is the paleontology. Paleontology deals with the study of fossils. What are fossils? Fossils are actually the remains of the extinct organisms. Like for example, in this picture, you can see the fossils of the dinosaurs, and with the help of the fossils of the dinosaurs, we were able to learn about the dinosaurs, that they lived so many millions of years ago. And fossils, how they are formed. They are formed as impressions in the rocks and found in rocks as impressions of the extinct organisms. Next branch is the environmental biology. Environmental biology deals with the study of the interactions of the organisms with their environment. For example, in this environmental biology, with the help of this, we study about the effect of global warming, effect of pollution, etc. on the living organisms and on different ecosystems. So this is all studied in environmental biology. Next is sociobiology. Sociobiology is that branch which deals with the study of social behavior of the animals that make the societies. that how the animals behave with each other and make the societies. Like for example, the behavior of the honeybees, behavior of the fishes living in a class. These all are studied with the help of social biology. Next branch is the parasitology. Parasitology deals with the study of the parasites. Now, what are parasites? Parasites are the organisms that take food and shelter from living hosts and in return harm them. There are two types of parasites, basically the ectoparasites and the endoparasites. Ectoparasites are those which live outside on the body of the host. Means outside of the body of the host. For example, the head lice, leeches, ticks, etc. These are all the ectoparasites. And endoparasites are those, endo means inside, which lives inside the body of the host, like viruses, bacteria, plasmodium, etc. are the examples of parasites. So this is, their study is done in parasitology. Next branch is biotechnology. Bio means life and technology means techniques. So using the practical techniques, by using the living organisms, some new useful products are made with the help of biotechnology. So it deals with the study of the practical application of living organisms to make useful products, like for example insulin. Insulin is a hormone that is used to maintain the blood glucose level. So insulin nowadays is made in large amounts with the knowledge of the biotechnology, and it is being used by the diabetic patients to cure the diabetes. Next branch is immunology. Immunology is the study of the immune system of the animals. What is immune system? It is actually the defense system which helps to defend the body of the organisms against invading microbes. Like for example, white blood cells are a part of our immune system which helps to fight, which helps the body to fight against the invading microbes like viruses, bacteria, which causes infections. Next branch is the entomology. Entomology deals with the study of the insects. Now, there are a large number and variety of insects found on the earth. So their study is done. Their different characteristics and everything is studied in entomology. For example, insects like bugs, flies, mosquitoes, cockroaches, etc. Then next branch, number 16, is pharmacology. Pharmacology deals with the study of the drugs and their effects on the systems of the human body. Like for example, different types of drugs are used to treat many diseases like aspirin, paracetamol, etc. So what are their effects on the human body? This is all studied in pharmacology. The last and branch, that is number 17, is molecular biology. Molecular biology related to biochemistry, it deals with the study of the molecules of life. Molecules of life means the molecules which are present inside the living bodies or which make the bodies of the living organisms. Like for example, proteins, water, lipids, nucleic acids, etc. These all are studied in molecular biology. So this was all about the branches of biology. You have to learn them very well with the examples, and short questions usually come from these branches, definitions along with the examples. So learn them as like I have told you. So next topic that we are going to start, open page number 4, the relationship of biology to other sciences. Now, all the branches of sciences, they are interrelated to each other, and biology includes information on various aspects of the living things but these information relates to the other branches of science as well. Each branch of science has some relationship with other branches, as I have told you before also, and this forms the basis of the interdisciplinary sciences. Means the different disciplines or the branches of sciences are related to each other. They have some relationship with each other. So first relationship we are going to study between biology and physics, which forms the biophysics. It deals with the study of the principles of physics applicable to biological phenomena. For example, there is a similarity between the working principles of the liver in physics and limbs of animals in biology. As you can see in the picture, the arm of a human works on the principle of the liver. So this is how the biology and the physics are related. And also if we study about the process of movement in animals, then the biologists have to refer to the laws of motion in physics. So this is how the branches are related to each other. Next one is biochemistry. Biochemistry deals with the study of the chemistry of different compounds and processes occurring in the living organisms. For example, the study of the basic metabolism of respiration includes or involves the knowledge of chemistry. How? Because cellular respiration is actually a chemical process involving the different chemicals or the compounds which react with each other to produce a large amount of energy. So this is how the biochemistry we study in biochemistry the different processes, chemical processes occurring in living bodies, and so biology and chemistry are interrelated. The next relationship that we are going to learn is between biology and mathematics, so known as biometry. Biometry deals with the study of the biological processes using mathematical techniques and tools. For example, if we carry out some experimental work and we have gathered some data after the experiment, so to analyze that data, the biologists have to apply the knowledge of mathematics. Next one is biogeography. Biogeography shows the relationship between biology and the geography. It deals with the study of the occurrence and distribution of different species of living organisms in different geographical regions of the world. There are 7 to 8 geographical regions of the world, and different types of animals and plants are distributed in those geographical regions depending upon the habitat, their need of food, the type of food present in that region, climate, temperature, etc. So this is all, to know about all this, it's all possible due to the knowledge of geography. This is how the biology and geography are related to each other. Next relationship is between biology and economics, known as bioeconomics. Bioeconomics deals with the study of the organisms from economical point of view. For example, the cost value and profit value of the wheat crop, a yield of the wheat crop can be calculated through the knowledge of bioeconomics, and the losses or benefits that we can get from it can be determined with the help of this knowledge. So these were all the branches of science which were related to each other. Here we have shown the relationship of biology to all the other branches of science, how they are interrelated. Okay, so you have to learn them, and on page number 4 there is a diagram or a chart given to you showing the figure 1.1 showing the relationship of biology with other sciences. You have to practice it and learn it, okay? Because from this topic some short questions also come, like differentiate between bioeconomics and biogeography, differentiate between biochemistry and biometry. So you have to make the 3 points. First tell about the relationship, then give the definition, and then the example. So this is how you have to learn this topic, all right, thoroughly. The next topic that we are going to start is careers in biology. It's very essential that students of today who will occupy the different positions tomorrow should have a background of the modern and forward-looking branches of science. So an accurate and modern knowledge of biology will promote a comprehension of both science and scientific research projects. So after studying the biology at your higher secondary level, you must be familiar that with what type of professions you can adopt after studying biology. Okay, so a biology student can adopt the following careers after studying it at FSc level. First one is medicine and surgery. Medicine and surgery, both these professions are studied in the same basic course, that is MBBS, and then the students go for specializations in different fields. So what is medicine? Medicine deals with the diagnosis and treatment of diseases in human. All right, and whereas, like for example, diagnosis of cancer and its treatment, what treatment can be given or what type of medication should be prescribed for that disease. Okay, this is all done in medicine. Whereas in surgery, the parts of the body may be replaced, repaired, or removed. Like for example, removal of stones from the kidneys through renal surgery, transplantation of kidney, liver, heart, etc. is all done in surgery, and a person who specializes in surgery is known as a surgeon. So this was the first profession that you can adopt. Next one is fisheries. Fisheries is the professional study of fish production. There are different departments in Pakistan where professionals of fisheries are employed, and they are working there for enhancing the quality and quantity of fish production. This profession can be adopted after your bachelor or master's level study of zoology and fisheries. Next one is agriculture. Agriculture deals with the food crops and the animals which are the source of food. And the person who adopts this profession is known as an agriculturist. He works for the betterment of crops like wheat, rice, corn, etc., and the animals, all the livestock like buffaloes, cows, etc., from which we get the food. In Pakistan, there are many universities which offer professional courses on agriculture after their higher secondary education in biology. The next one, the next career is the animal husbandry, which is a branch of agriculture, and it deals with the care and breeding of the livestock, the domestic animals like cattle, sheep, etc. Professional courses in animal husbandry can be adopted after the higher secondary education in biology. Next profession is the horticulture. Horticulture deals with the art of gardening. The person who adopts this profession or career is known as the horticulturist, and he works for the betterment of the existing varieties and for the production of the new varieties of ornamental plants and fruit plants. Ornamental plants, actually the beautiful flowers are produced by these plants, which are used for decoration purposes at different ceremonies or for making the ornaments, the jewelry that is usually used in weddings and events like this. So that is why they are known as ornamental plants. Biology students can adopt this profession after their higher secondary education. Next one is farming. Farming deals with the development and maintenance of different types of farms. For example, in the picture you can see there, which type of farm is this? Yes, you can see hens here, so it's a poultry farm. In poultry farms, chicken and eggs are produced. Similarly, there are the animal breeding technologies are used in these farms basically. Then there are fruit farms also, where different fruit yielding plants are grown. So a student who has gone through the professional course of agriculture, animal husbandry or fisheries can adopt this profession. Number 7 is the forestry. Forestry deals with the looking after of the natural forests, and the professionals in this field advises the government for planting and growing the artificial forests. So many universities offer the professional courses in forestry after the higher secondary education in biology or after their bachelor level study of zoology and botany. Alright, biotechnology. The last number 8 is biotechnology. Biotechnology is one of the latest professions in the field of biology, and a person who adopts this profession is known as a biotechnologist. A biotechnologist works for the production of useful products through microorganisms. As we have already studied, the biotechnology as a branch is also a branch of biology. So in this profession, the person actually works for the production of the useful products like, for example, insulin, antibiotics and other hormones through the use of microorganisms, mainly the bacteria. Universities offer courses in biotechnology after the higher secondary education in biology and after the bachelor level studies of botany or zoology. So this was all about the different careers that a student of biology can adopt after studying biology at their higher secondary level. Alright, so you can not only become a doctor or a surgeon after studying biology at your FSC level, but you can also go for some new professions in this field like biotechnology, like in agricultural fields of forestry, horticulture, agriculture, etc. Alright, so learn these professions very well and give a thorough reading to this page, to these all professions on page number 5. Alright. So the topic that we are going to start is the Quran and biology. Now what Quran says about the life and the living organisms and also about the origin of life on this earth. Well, there are certain verses that we are going to learn in this topic, and which will hint us about the origin of life and also about the development of animals. Alright, so at many places in the Holy Quran, Allah hints about the origin and characteristics of living organisms. So the first verse that we are going to learn is, what is it? We made every living thing from water. So we know that water makes 60 to 70% of the protoplasm of all living organisms. So this verse hints at the common origin of all living things in water. as Allah has ordered us to think at the hints given by him in Quran. So we should study the living things to know about the mysteries of their origin. Alright, in another verse Allah says that he made man from clay like the potter. So in this verse Allah hints about the events that occur in the creation of the. In another verse, let's see what is that verse. Then fashioned we the drop a clod, then fashioned we the clod a little lump, then fashioned we the little lump bones, then clotted the bones with flesh. In this verse, Allah hints about the different stages or the methods of the development of animals, including the human beings. All right. So in another verse, which is about the modern concepts of classification, let's see what is that verse. Allah has created every animal from water. Then some of them creep up over their bellies, others walk on 2 legs, and others on 4. Allah creates what He pleases. So in this verse, it describes us about the common origin of life in water and as well as the modification of organisms. And it supports the modern concepts of classification. Also, it gives us the hints about the characteristics of living things like 2 legs, 4 legs, etc. So these are some of the verses hinting about the origin and development of life and also the characteristics of living organisms. So you have to learn these verses because short questions usually come from these this topic, and you have to write down the English translation of these verses word to word. Okay, so that's it from this topic. Now next topic that we are going to learn is about the Muslim scientists and their contributions in the field of science. Muslim scientists, you know, have made a lot of contributions to the study of science, and in this topic we are going to learn about the 3 Muslim scientists. The first one is Jabir bin Hayyan. Jabir bin Hayyan was born in Iran and he practiced medicine in Iraq. He did a lot of experimental investigation in the field of chemistry, and he wrote also a number of books on plants and animals. And 2 of his famous books are Al-Nabatat and Al-Hayawan. So next Muslim scientist is Abdul Malik Asma'i. Abdul Malik Asma'i is considered as the first Muslim scientist who studied animals in detail. So his famous writings or the books on animals include Al-Abil, which was on camel, Al-Khayl on horses, Al-Wahush on wild animals, and Khalaq al-Insan, definitely about the creation of the man. So you have to learn all these books, okay? Names of the books, because usually this comes in short questions. The third Muslim scientist that we are going to learn about is Bolli Sina. Bolli Sina is honored as the founder of medicine, and he is known as Avicenna in the West. Alright, he was a physician, a philosopher, a poet, and an astronomer. And one of his famous books on medicine is Al-Qanun fi al-Tibb, and this book is known as the Canon of Medicine in the Western countries. This is very important, the name of this book. Usually it's been asked in your MCQs. Al-Qanun fi al-Tibb is also known as the Canon of Medicine in the West. So this was all about the Muslim scientists and their contributions. And dear students, that's all from this lecture, and I hope you have learned the topics, you have learned and understood the topics very well. I want you to make some short questions from these topics. Basically learn the definitions, and in your copies write down the definitions, and you can make at least you have to make at least 5 short questions from all these topics, okay, in your biology notebooks. And on the book also do a thorough reading of the topic and underline the important terms for your MCQs and also for your short questions. Write questions on the side boxes, alright, that we have already done in the previous topics. So that's it. We'll continue with our next lecture from this chapter. Allah Hafiz.